What's up, guys? We're here at Mongrel MMA in Richmond, Virginia. Great facility. If you're in the area, you got to check it out. Here with my man, David Dice, and we're together today working on some fundamentals for striking. We've got Brooklyn, Sergio joining us today. We're going to break down the basics, then we're going to go through some drills, show you some combinations, and help you put some of this to work. So, Dave, you had a couple things you wanted to brush everybody up on. Let's get to work.
Yeah, so we, I like to call it being on train tracks versus a tightrope, right? So, feet right under your hips. You're going to turn your front foot in, slide that back foot back. It's, ball of the foot, so it's athletic. You can push off real fast. You don't want your rear foot pointed out. You don't want your front foot pointed forward. Here's why real quick. So a lot of people do this. When you turn that front foot in, it's going to keep you closed. If you open it up, it'll expose your center line to your opponent, right? Another reason for turning that foot in is every power shot has heel turn, hip turn, shoulder turn, and weight shift. If that's pointed forward, your heel has to go too far around. When it's turned in a little bit, you can fire it real fast. The third thing, when you're moving forward, if your foot is pointed straight, you're going to have a heel-toe movement, right? So when my heel hits, I can't do anything till my toe hits, so it's an extra beat. You don't want to move forward that way, okay? So we got front foot turned in, rear foot's turned in a little bit. You've got a line running between your feet, i.e. that's the center line. When you hear somebody say, hey, center line, that's what it is. It goes right between your feet. Elbows into your body, right hand back by your jaw, elbow here, front hand up, chin down, looking between your fists, not around your fists. All right, so we're going to go over the basics that we're going to use in Alan's flow series, which is the combinations. So one of the things we've been working is that jab. So you push it out, point of contact here on your chin. The fist would be on the target, right hand here, elbow into your body. So there's the 4 points of contact. Now remember, this is a piston movement, an elbow out back, bang, right? So you never want to leave your punches out. One of the things you can tell the level of a fighter is how much rib cage you see when they're punching. Beginner fighters, you'll see a lot of rib cage. Pro fighters, you don't see much rib cage. All right, so here we go. The jab is going to be here, bam, out back, making sure you're covered up, right? The rear hand we're going to be working, we're going to turn the heel, hip, and shoulder. Shoulder is over the center line, and then snap that hand. So you don't release the elbow too fast, turn, snap, come back. At impact, you got the 4 points of contact, right? So when I say two, just fire that rear hand two, bang, good, two, bang. Other hand comes up, protect your face. So one is the jab, two, pow, right hand. We're gonna work a left hook. Every shot other than a jab has torque weight shift, right, with it. So we're gonna turn the heel, hip, shoulder, get it over this line, and then the elbow comes up. If you're hooking to the head, the forearm needs to be parallel to the floor. You can hold your hand this way or this way, but what you don't want to do is release the punch right when you start turning, or it makes it look like an arm shot. So you want to turn first, then pop that elbow up. Bang. If we're taking it to the body or the liver, we're going to lean over a little bit and shovel that thing off your hip. A lot of boxing coaches call it a shovel hook. So it's a 45-degree angle shot. You load it, fire it, bang, right there. You don't want a lot of separation with your rib cage, so drive it right off your hip, right? Bow, that's where the power is. Alan, what other techniques are we working on?
You can go over the rear uppercut.
Okay, rear uppercut. Every punch, again, other than a jab, has, I call it a gunfire. So you're going to turn your heel, hip, shoulder, just like you would on the right hand, and then snap the hand up like that, right? So it's here, bang. Remember, we don't go down to come up. We don't go out to come across. We don't go back to go forward. We go right to the target. So we got the jab, the right hand, hook to the head, liver shot, rear uppercut. And then we're gonna have some movement with it. So whatever direction you're moving, you move that foot first. So when we go in or forward, the front foot moves first, and the rear foot takes the same size step. When you go backwards, back foot. If we're gonna move left, left foot, right, right foot. Now we're gonna have some head movement in there too, so let's review this. If we're bobbing, okay, i.e. like a bobber, a fishing bobber, you're gonna go straight down and come up. Now in kickboxing, you got to use your legs a little bit more. Boxers can get away with this. Kickboxers can't because it can trap your head and knee you. So a little bit more of a leg bob here, straight down and up, chin is down and up. If we're going to slip to the left, we're going to shift our shoulders over, chin over the knee, keeping your hands up. So that's slipping left, slipping right. Pivot a little bit, chin over the knee, weight over this foot, but we're not going backwards. So slipping is actually an angular move, not a lateral move, because you're loading that other shot. So if we slip left, it's here. Now, we can rip that hook right across from there because we're shifting our weight. If we slip right, it's here, and then you'd rip that right hand. We may be doing some bobbing and weaving. So we have, some people call slipping weaving. So for conversation's sake, so if we bob and then we weave, i.e. the bob and weave. So you go down and then up. It's a U motion. So we have slipping left, slipping right, bob and weave left, bob and weave right. When you bob and weave, you end up in the same position as you would if you were slipping. All right, so now, Alan, you want to put these together in combination?
Sure. So, guys, what we can do, and we'll start out just in a shadow box context. So, typically, what's taught is punches by numbers, right? And that's what we generally know. That's what we came up with. So, typically, the jab is a 1, cross is a 2, hook is a 3, the rear uppercut may be a 4, and then the numbers based on the type of coach. So, that we consider that a very good fundamental way to get started. But what we're going to do is put it together in a different way. So what we want is the punches, the head movement, and the footwork to flow together. So our first combo, which typically if you were calling it out, you would say jab, step in, and then add a cross. So we'd say double jab, throw a cross. So do that, just a double jab in a right hand, a rear hand. Okay, and that would be like a 1-1-2 or step in double. For us, we call that jab in. So if I say jab in, that means double jab and throw a right hand. So jab in. So start with that. Boom. So I've just called it out. Jab in. You start working that combo. Work the jab in. Work on the footwork. So your front foot moves first, making sure you got the 4 points of contact on the end of your punches, and you begin to develop that simple combo. And let's back it up a little bit, guys, so we can. All right, so now let's add something simple. Let's add slipping to the right. So Dave just went over it. So I want you to make, at the end of that movement, you finish the right. I want you to make a little slip to the right, load the right side, and then come off of that with a right hand, left hook, right hand. Trying to keep all the stuff that David went through in your head. So you go jab in, and then we call it slip right. Slip, cross hook, cross. Boom. So jab in, double jab, slip right, counter 3. Boom. So jab in, slip right. Jab in, slip right. And as you get that down, you get a little more aggressive. Jab in, slip right. Slip, counter with 3. Jab in, slip right. Jab in, slip right. And we'll keep this really fundamental, and then we'll put it to work in a couple of different ways that we could do it. Jab in, slip right. Okay, so now let's say we go jab in, we slip to the right, we counter 3, and then we want to add another type of movement in. So what we're going to do is take the rear foot and just turn over to about 7 o'clock, so a quick little angle, we call it turn, and put another cross hook cross on the end. Here's what's happened. Now instead of me having to say jab, jab, cross, slip right, 2, 3, 2, turn your foot, counter with 3. I'll say jab in, slip right, turn, counter with 3. Boom, boom. So now what is the combo? It's jab in, slip right, turn, and now you've got a full-fledged combo built in off of an easy-to-call cue. You guys, that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so let's try it. So let's go jab in, then slip right, release it, make that quick little turn, which loads the right leg, and fire those 3. And let's put that into a shadow box content. What do? You fire, cover, move. So if you're not punching, either your hands are moving, your head's moving, or your feet are moving, you're changing directions. You're in a freestyle shadow box with that combo. Go. Jab in, slip right, turn. Boom. And that gives you a great foundation of something basic of a way to get started. Let's see it, man. Jab in, slip right, turn. Boom. Beautiful. Hey guys, I'm Alan Branch.
I'm David Dice.
We appreciate you watching the video. Hey, be sure that you like the video, subscribe to our channel for ongoing content, and if you want to go next level, be sure to visit us at fighterscollege.com.
And always remember, keep those elbows in, that chin down, and hands up.
And remember to thank God every day that you have the strength to go one more round. See you next time.